I'm again given two choices, the Purifiers on Endian or the Mobius Corp on Revanscar. I choose to stop Mobius. The mission starts with Karax explaining that the Spear of Adun can't fit between the asteroids, so they have to attack the facility using carriers. After travelling to Revanscar, the Protoss find a facility that's clearly in range of the Spear of Adun's weapons. However, a Zealot notices that Mobius ships aren't moving into attack position. Then Ghosts board the Spear of Adun and Mobius's battleships move into attack position. Artanis orders Karax to lead an assault against Mobius because of how well he knows their defences, even though Vorazon was the one who did all the scouting of these defences, and there's probably hundreds of other trained Templars that could lead this assault with Karax advising them. Templars charge. The mission begins with Karax explaining that we need to destroy the 3 power cores to destabilize the facility, which will somehow allow it to be destroyed. Karax then explains that the starting location has few minerals, but that he can move this platform to other areas to obtain more minerals. Also, despite everything said in the intro, all of the Spear of Adun's abilities work during this level. Finally, there's 2 stasis chambers that contain solarite. As you destroy the cores, the attacks on the Spear of Adun slow, even though they're being attacked by ghosts and battleships, neither of which should need these cores. Once you attack the final core, the battleship attacking the Spear of Adun walk back to defend it. So at least there's a reason why Mobius suddenly gets reinforcements. When all the cores are destroyed, the Spear of Adun attacks Mobius's base, even though they could have done this at any time, since no one ever mentioned a shield or anything else that could have stopped their weapons hitting this base. Back on the Spear of Adun, Artanis is so impressed that Karax led one attack that he dissolves the caste system and makes everyone a Templar. Artanis and Alarak comment about how they used to dislike each other, and Artanis wonders if there may have been a better way. Alarak replies that there wasn't, as the hybrid leave nothing to save. Rohanna explains that Amon manipulated the Protoss, then the Zerg in order to make false Zelnaga. Karax chooses to remain a Faesmith, but is happy that others can become Templars. Conclusion. This mission had a lot of issues. The first set of problems is with the premise of this mission. Firstly, why was Karax, a non-military Protoss, examining the defences of Mobius? Why weren't Vorazon and her scouts doing this? Why wasn't there a Protoss general who was going to attack Mobius examining these defences? Secondly, when the Spear of Adun was attacking, why wasn't Karax, the Protoss who was the most knowledgeable about this ship and its systems, asked to defend it while another Protoss with more military experience attacked Mobius? Thirdly, why don't the Protoss simply defeat the forces attacking them, then attack Mobius's base? Splitting their forces so some units can counterattack will only reduce the number of warriors on board the ship and the number of carriers that can counterattack the battleships. Fourthly, what tactical expertise does the Faesmith Karax have, and how did he acquire them? Fifthly, if Karax has to be involved, why isn't he paired with a Protoss who has more military experience to ensure that this counterattack doesn't fail? The answer to this set of problems is that the writers wanted a mission led by Karax and created a contrived situation so it could occur. There was never any reason for Karax to lead this attack, and he would have been more useful either defending the Spear of Adun or as an advisor to whoever was attacking Mobius's base. The next set of problems is why is the facility on Revanscar Amon's only hybrid facility? He should have facilities throughout the galaxy, especially on Aya where there's a large number of Protoss and Zerg under his control. Also, in Heart of the Swarm wasn't Skygar, which was guarded by the Dominion as if it was Korhol, supposed to be the heart of Menk's hybrid breeding program? A site so important that Nerud himself guarded it? A site funded by the economy of the multi-planetary Dominion? Given that Mobius is far smaller than the Dominion, and less well funded, it seems unlikely that this site would be able to produce hybrids on any significant scale. As a result, despite Artanis claiming that destroying this facility would deprive Amon of his army, It's unlikely that destroying this facility would make any real difference, since it could only produce a small number of hybrids, and the small Terran army was insignificant compared to the Golden Armada. The third set of problems, and the first about the playable part of this mission, is how does destabilizing the power cores allow the Protoss to destroy the remaining structures? Do they power weapon system or shields? If they don't, then there's nothing to stop the Spear of Adun destroying the base at the start of the mission, then focusing on the units attacking them. I'd say this problem is due to bad writing, as the writers failed to explain why the Spear of Adun couldn't attack Mobius's base immediately. The fourth set of problems concerns castes. A caste system is one where people are grouped based on what they do in society, often with each caste being ranked in a hierarchy. In Starcraft 1, the Judicators ruled over the Templar and Kalai caste, though it was unclear whether the Templar and Kalai class were equal or not. In Starcraft 2, the Templar removed the Judicator caste and became the new rulers of the Protoss, with the Kalai or Artisan caste becoming inferior to them. For some reason, this was entirely done off-screen, despite it being one of the most major changes in how the Protoss society was run in the past 2,000 years. While a caste system can have some advantages, such as reducing people who are genetically skilled in a specific area, such as blacksmithing, by only having blacksmith families marry other blacksmith families, the problem is that if someone is born with skills that would be beneficial in another caste, such as being a scholar, they cannot achieve their full potential as they are unable to change from one caste to another. As Karax is well suited to being a phase smith and expresses no desire to be a Templar, this means that even if the caste system had remained in place, he would have been able to achieve his full potential, undermining the whole point of removing the caste system, though the narrative does accept that others may benefit from this decision. While the effect of a caste system on society is an interesting idea to explore, unfortunately in Legacy of the Void the writers do nothing with this idea, because almost all of the characters belong to one caste, so we never see how being in the other caste affects your life in the Protoss society. The one character that we see belonging to another caste is happy being in this caste, so the audience has no reason to even want the caste system to be dismantled, and the effect of the different castes is so rarely brought up that it's unclear how removing the caste system will even affect anyone. The final set of problems regard how Amon's hybrids are different from whatever the Xel'Naga actually want to create. We're told they're false Xel'Naga, but we're not told how the real Xel'Naga would be different. I suspect this is because the writers wanted to condemn Amon, but hadn't thought about how the hybrids and Xel'Naga were different, just like they didn't think about how the different Protoss factions were different. In conclusion, while there was a narrative reason for there to be a mission where Mobius was defeated, since they were a reoccurring faction, there was no reason why it had to be led by Karax. The removal of the caste system was also unnecessary, as it played so little role in the game that removing it had no effect on anything. Thus we ended up with a mission led by a character who had no reason to lead it, to resolve an issue that no one cared about.